So for purposes of elucidating these arguments, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you a little bit on both of these arguments. So let's start with the cosmological argument that you're making. So the Richard Dawkins comeback, the one that you hear most frequently with regard to the finitude of time and the idea that everything has a cause is, okay, well then what caused God?
Yes. It's important to state the first premise correctly, Ben. It's not everything has a cause. It is everything that begins to exist has a cause. Something cannot come into being without a cause. But if something is eternal, never began to exist, there's no need for a cause. So that objection to the argument is simply based on a misunderstanding of the first premise.
What, must we posit such an eternal being, or could we just have an infinity of regressive causes?
Well, that's the second premise, that the universe began to exist. And I think there are deep philosophical problems with the idea of an infinite past. For example, how did we get to today? If you had to go through an infinite number of prior events one at a time, that would be like trying to count on all the negative numbers one at a time ending at zero, which seems an absurd task. Moreover, we have remarkable scientific evidence from the Big Bang expansion of the universe and the thermodynamic properties of the universe, which suggest that the universe cannot be infinite in the past, but must have had a beginning around 13.8 billion years ago. So I think that second premise is very powerfully supported both philosophically and scientifically.
Okay, and then on the other argument, the moral argument, the argument that I've heard made in contravention of that, it's an argument made by Dawkins, Harris, Brett Weinstein, evolutionary biologists, who suggest that morality, there is a certain sense of morality that is innate to mammals that you see even in species that are not our own, a sense of primitive altruism, a sense of kinship protection, for example. So is it possible that that morality is embedded on a very basic level in behavior of mammals beyond the idea of an objective morality that we think about and therefore enact, that it's just embedded in the natural code?
This response is almost a textbook example of the genetic fallacy. The genetic fallacy is trying to invalidate a point of view by showing how that point of view came to be held. Even if evolution and social conditioning has programmed into us a certain set of moral beliefs, that does nothing to show that those beliefs are false. Indeed, if moral values are gradually discovered rather than gradually invented, then our gradual and fallible apprehension of the moral realm no more undermines the objectivity of that realm than our gradual, fallible apprehension of the physical world undermines the objectivity of the physical realm. In the absence of some defeater, it seems to me that we're perfectly within our rights in believing that there is an objective realm of moral values and duties, just as we're within our rights in believing that there is a world of physical objects around us.